And here we go into strings. Alright, so let's talk about the string class and get an introduction to what strings are. So getting started, recall using system.out.println to write to the console. System.out.println, quote, hello world, displays the text, hello world. Right. The text that is displayed is an example of what is called a string. And much like variables, we can declare and initialize objects. So let's say strings are always declared in the following format. String, name. Where name is the name of your string. So it could be string first, string second, string word, string sentence. And name is interchangeable with whatever the name of your string is. So here's an example. String message. Currently, this value of message is nothing because I don't have it equal to anything. If you look in there, there's no equal sign. So we can change it though by doing message equals, quote, I need to speak with you, quote. We can declare and assign the string and its value in one statement. So just like we can do with variables, we can put it all in one statement. So here I'm going to do string message equals, quote, I need to speak with you, quote. And finally, if we want to display that string, we just use system.out.println. And rather than putting in there, quote, I need to speak with you, because I already assigned it to that string, I can just put message inside the println statement. Concatenation. Right. When we're joining two strings together, we use the plus operator. Right. Doesn't mean we're adding it. It means that we're concatenating. Concatenating is a fancy way of saying we're joining the two strings together. So there's concatenation. So let's look at an example. String noun equals strings. String sentence. Sentence equals noun plus, quote, are cool. Semicolon. So we're going to do system.out.println sentence. Now note a couple things here. There is an extra space in the word strings above. So you see right here there's a space before I have the quotation mark there. This prevents the two phrases from getting smashed together. Otherwise, it's going to be like strings are rather than strings are. So otherwise, instead of getting strings are cool, you get strings are cool. So you can see the difference there, the space would make. So when you're doing this on your own, make sure you include those spaces in there. All right, let's concatenate a space, because remember the space is also its own special character. So let's say we want to add a blank space between two strings. So here I have string 1 equals, quote, hello, comma, 2 equals, quote, world. All right, we concatenate this together, we expect it to be hello world. But we're going to get the following output, hello world. If you notice, there's no space in between those two words. However, we wanted to say hello space world. To do this, we can concatenate a blank quote between the two strings. System.out.println 1 plus, quote, space, quote, plus 2. And you might be asking me, okay, well, why don't I just add a space after hello or a space before world? Well, you can do that, but there's going to be times when you have variables or you have numbers or something like that, and you need to concatenate a space just in there on its own. So that's the reason why I'm showing this. Now, there are a couple things to note about concatenation. Java will automatically treat anything inside of the parentheses of system.out.println if one of the objects is a string. Otherwise, it's going to treat it as no object. So, if we look at this example here, we have system.out.println, quote, 100 plus 42. It's going to output 100, or what looks like 10,042, but it's actually saying 100 and then 42. Because it's quoting 100 as a string, and when you do the 42 there, it's also going to treat that as a string. Now, if I look at the second one here, system.out.println 100 plus 42, I get 142. The reason for that is the quotes. The quotes will automatically convert it into a string, and it's going to treat everything else in that line, that println statement then, as a string. If you don't have quotes, as you can see there in the second example, there's just numbers. That means it's going to do an arithmetic operation. All right, real briefly, we got to talk about classes. Even though we're going to talk more about classes later, about chapter 4, there are terminologies that we should start to become familiar with. The first of which is the class. The class is the name of the type of object or the value, excuse me, who are objects. In this case, our object, our class that we're using is string. String is a class that exists inside of Java. We also have objects. Objects are entities that can store data and take actions. Any string that we create is an object. So like string name, string sentence, string anything. Name, sentence, whatever you named it would be that object of string type. And then methods are actions that an object can take. We look at actions that can occur with string next time, such as the length method. So in our next lesson, we're going to delve right into all the different things we can do to a string, which are actually going to be very beneficial going down the road. All right, so here's our self-test questions. Number 1, what is the output of the following code? String verb phrase, quote, is money. System.out.println, quote, time, plus verb phrase. Number 2, what is the output of the following code? System.out.println, quote, 2 plus 2 equals, quote, plus parentheses, 2 plus 2, parentheses. System.out.println, quote, 2 plus 2 equals, quote, plus 2 plus 2. And that wraps up this one, folks. See you next time.